Jeez, all right.
Hello, and welcome back to the channel, proudly sponsored by betting.co.uk. And we're back bringing you our Cheltenham November Paddy Power Meeting preview. And we've got some very special guests. Little bit of a surprise, but before we go on to those, we will just do a quick bit of housekeeping. If you're new to the channel, please do click the like and subscribe button. It's completely free to do and you will be doing us a massive favor. And of course, if you could go and follow my boys, Jamie and Scotty, again, that would be even better. Now, we've
The
got some
harsh.
special guests.
Good
I'm
shut
sure
up.
you're very familiar with the
Not
one.
even, not even saying a follow to the finish line, guys. Desperate, isn't it? I come all the way down from my house. Yeah. In Ireland, wasn't it?
You just, you just, you just,
He on you training all last year as well. Bit of a prick, like fucking hell.
yeah, but you've just gone and thrown a massive curveball, like I could have made something really nice. Like, anyway, Andrew, we've got Andrew from the finishing line turning up. How you doing, Andrew?
Sure, I'm freezing, Joe. I got a lovely coffee on you. He's at the charges to Ginger Joe Racing.
Oh no, no, not again. Has he not put the heating on for you, then, Andrew? No.
I know. It's fucking water for it's always freezing. Yeah. It was like I was painting my house today in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and now I have a hat, two t-shirts on, a jumper, and a coat. It's
Well,
that cold now.
if you get too cold, you can just give Jamie a cuddle. He's nice and close to you. He's nice and
Mm-hmm.
close to
My
you.
hands off the camera, stays off the camera.
Right. Next up, we have Tommy the Bear. Tommy, welcome to the channel for your first time here.
Thanks, Joe. Looking forward to it.
So, if anyone hasn't met Tommy before, I actually met Tommy through Jamie and Co at the DRF. And the first thing Tommy said to us after that spring juvenile, is it the spring juvenile? No, it wasn't. But he said to me, Absurd wins the county hurdle. And we all know what happens next. So, yeah, Tommy, welcome to the channel. Jamie
Thanks,
Wren.
Joe.
Jamie Wren, the voice of Ireland. How you doing?
Very good.
Very good. Very
Good
good.
stuff. Good stuff. And Scotty Bad Boy Rudd, how are you, man?
Fine, buddy. All good.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, look, we are recording this on Monday, so we've only got the entries at the moment. So this is before declarations, but we're going to see what we can do. I'm sure we'll find our way to get through some of the racing. Anyway, we'll just kick straight on with it, shall we? We'll start off on Friday. We have the 145, the Paddy Power Novices Chase over 3 miles. Do you notice I'm not giving Andrew a chance to mention Marie Nationale yet, by the way?
Why?
We'll start
Like,
off with the no.
no, I think we have to. We're
Okay,
all
fine.
worried about your
Okay.
well-being.
I'm okay now. I'm okay now. It did take me that good old big plate of Nando's and a long sleep this morning.
Now, have you learned now that every trainer in Ireland are liars?
I definitely think it's time to start accepting now that he has lost at least his speed, which was his main trait. So yeah, I'm
You know,
not.
I can't remember who put it on Twitter. I seen that they. Oh wait, I'll find it. I'll find it. Keep going.
Yeah, go on, find it. But yeah, look, we move on. He's off to Leopardstown over Christmas next. But look, the thing is as well, he came out of his box kicking when he got back to Barry's Yard yesterday, so he was happy and healthy in himself. There's no issues. Ground was fine. He looked amazing in the paddock. Um,
What do you reckon? This is the turn of foot.
yeah, definitely, because he is all speed. He's by French Navy. He inherited all of that
You
speed,
ready? You ready?
and
Here's the punchline. He's a turn of
oh,
foot like Santini.
he is a little bit of a boat now. He is a bit of a boat, but look, he's happy and healthy. That's always the main thing, right? But it looks to me like I can admit it now. I was willing to forgive him that run at the DRF, but that turn of foot has disappeared. Look,
That was
is
from Levi Whelan. I don't think credit for that. That
that
was
the
well
guy who
played.
does reggae sauce?
It was brilliant.
Anyway, right, enough of that then. Let's
What?
move
Get on
on.
with it.
145, Paddy Power Novices Chase over 3 miles. We have Springwell Bay at 7-2, Shanna Bob at 4-1, Highland at 9-2, Resplendent Grey at sixes, Buddy 1 at eights, Hillcrest at eights after nearly 1,000 days off the track, Search for Glory 8-1, and then 12-1 bar. Again, these are only the entry stage, so we don't have the full declarations yet. But let's go with Tommy to start with. Who do you fancy in the Novices Chase, Tommy? Had a good look?
I had a decent look at it, yeah. I was looking at Shanna Bob, right? And, you know, like he beat Gorgeous Tom last time out, right?
Hmm.
Gorgeous Tom won the other day, right? So, like, form is there, right? On top. Like, you'll be wondering too, like, which one Nico's going to ride, right? Is he going to ride Highland or is he going to ride Um,
Do you think they're both? Do you
uh,
think they're both turn up?
I don't know. That's the question, right?
What do I go?
Did anyone got any info? And are they both turning up?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. That's the question really. Obviously, there's all of these remarks about the ground being too fast. I suppose Shanna Bob would certainly want a little bit of cut, you'd imagine, wouldn't you?
A small bit of cut, yeah, I would think so. Yeah, you know, it's a really tough race. You know, if you were putting me to the sword, I would probably have to go with Shannon.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Shanna Bob for Tommy. Let's go with
Yep.
Andrew Halligan then, shall we? Halligan, what you got for us, mate?
Well, I got Nico up on three, so I'll be doing well to ride three. Um, I look to me, it's hard to get away from Springwell Bay. What he done on his debut, where to me, he wasn't meant to win. The race fell apart, and John Joe had no choice but to let him bowl on at the end. Jumped well, travelled well, forms and boost. Boomtown was in third. He came on and he won over the weekend. Insurrection, he was bad. He was second though. He was bad. The form was overturned though. With him, look, this is a good hurdler. He's stepping up on his form since chasing, as we see in the Chepstow. I think if he goes out, drops in, pops away, I think he'll be hard to beat. So you don't know what Nicky's going to run because he has Nico jocked up on Highland and what's he on? Ideal boards. Then you're looking at Hillcrest. He's coming back from a 16-year absence. You've Buddy one is an interesting one. If he can brush up his jumping, that was a good race. He was third in at Wexford. He's behind Hartwood and Corvus Cross. His
Yeah.
jumping just was terrible. But if he can come back, he won on this card last year. I think he won the handicap hurdle. He was backed off the boards like the feet was out of the question. If he can sort out his jumping, he's 8 to 1. He could be good each way price. But I think they will have to go some to be Springwell Bay if he can even come on from that run. And John Joe's horses are finally in form after
Yeah.
6 years out of it.
Yeah, I mean, look as well with John Joe, they've teamed up with their other son as well. I did watch a little bit of a small documentary, and they were saying it's enabled them to give all their horses more like one-on-one care. So they're definitely worth giving a chance this year, and they seem rejuvenated. Obviously, they've had Bill Joyce, Mr. Megget, they've had that 215 grand purchase, road less travelled as well, and Johnny Who as well did pretty nicely on his chase debut. So
It
yeah,
sounds like somebody coming into United room and going into, you're a good player. That's a good boy. You can play well now.
I'm just willing to give the yard a chance now that they've sort of got this new setup because it's top quality there at Jackdaws, but they have underachieved, I'd say, in recent years anyway. So yeah, cool. Springwell Bay for Andrew. Jamie Wren in the same corner. What have you got for us here?
Um, Horse I like him with Tommy here, and definitely all over Shannon Bob if it runs. Has the most potential in the race, especially beating Destroyed Evans last year. It was a January meeting, was it Trials Day? Was it Trials
Yeah,
Day
yeah.
last year at one? I wouldn't take any note if it needs cutting the ground because he won on good ground in Plumpton.
Okay,
It was
okay.
fourth, obviously, behind Dancing City and Two Box Man in the Grade 1 at Aintree. Beating 17 lengths, I know it's a long way, but I think he's the most potential in the race. But I wouldn't be put off, obviously, with Anderson, Springville Bay, with the form of Boom Bomb
Hmm.
in Canton the weekend. But all depends. Like, could you go with Highland, who never jumped really any fences last day? But he needs good ground, obviously. There was no fences with the low sun in the October meeting. But no, if he runs, Shannon Bob for me because he has the
Cool.
most potential.
Yeah, sure. That's it. He was just a big raw baby last year, wasn't he, as well? Definitely more to come from him. And then Scotty, who do you fancy in the novices chase?
Yeah, I agree with what Andrew said just before about Springwell Bay. I thought it was a good performance up at Chepstow. Whether the form is as good as it seems with Insurrection, who he beat up at Chepstow, he obviously disappointed in the Rising Stars at Wincanton. But obviously Boom Bourne went and won that race. A good ride from Harry Skelton. Um, so yeah, I do like Springwell Bay as a horse, but I think this is probably about as the top level he's going to reach this year. He's got to be winning this if he's going to be a Browns horse. Probably the mid distance novices handicap chase. I think is more realistic for Springwell Bay this year. Agree with the guys again on Shanna Bob. I think he's got the most potential in the race. The only worry for me in the long term is I don't see him as a national hunt chase horse. I see him more as a Browns horse. But I think the number one is Dancing City for them, the Donnellys this year. And traditionally, he's out of Marla, who produces a lot of good staying chases. And I do think that's why Nico's dropped up 3 times in the race. I think if it's anything good like it is at the moment, I don't think Bob will run. I think a bit of soft ground. He produces horses like the Real Whacker, Chris's Dream, Glenfor's a mile a mission. For me, all of those horses scream they need softer, heavier in the description. So I'd be worried about him running there. Again, Buddy won. One of my five to follow novice chasers this year. I was a bit disappointed, to be honest, in the race against Hartwood and Corbett's Cross the other day. He ran pretty well, but he just seemed to finish a bit weakly. So I'd be concerned about him in the finish. Buddy won. I think he's a bit soft. But for me, if Shannon Bob runs, I think he's going to take the world of beating. But I'd be very respectful towards Springwell Bay. And Search for Glory is an interesting one as well in the entries. He was mixing it with the likes of the other top novices with Jigginstown last year, the likes of Stella Story. I'd be keen if he ran to see how he'd fare in the race, but I've got a feeling they're going to save him for something back home. And yeah, Hillcrest, interesting entry, but again, nearly 3 years off the track. I can't see him um, up to winning in his first time out. But yeah, I'd probably just side with Springwell Bay.
Yeah, fair enough, Scotty. For me, probably Buddy one. If I'm having a bet at this stage, I think he's a decent each way price. But like the lad said, I'm really keen on Shanna Bob here. I think he's got a lot of potential to go forward with. I actually quite fancy him for Cheltenham if he gets there in one piece as well. But it would be mission accomplished if we could see Hillcrest get around in one piece. I'd love to see that at the same time. But Buddy one each way for me. Okay, so we move on to
Some
the
characters in this
Schlur
book, I'll
Chase.
tell you.
The 220 Schlur Chase, the grade two over 2 miles, 56 grand to the winner. We've got John Bonnet 4 to 9, Edward Stone at 7 to 2, Boot Hill at 8 to 1, Master Chewy at 10s, Matata at 12s, and 25 to 1 bar. I probably only see 4 or 5 runners actually turning out here, but we'll go the other way around this time. Scotty, is it just a walk in the park for John Bon?
A walk in the park for John Bon. I see what you did there. He is a walk in
Yeah,
the
I
park.
wondered if anyone would
Love
clock
that.
that,
Love that. Um, yeah, I think so. Ginge, it's he's one of those horses where every time I get tempted to think I could back him, he's always too short to back, and every time he's kind of a backable price. I think he's outclassed.
Yeah.
In like champion chase kind of races. But I think he's probably a lot of people say he doesn't like Cheltenham. I disagree with that. I think he's just walked into a couple of big performances. Obviously Constitution Hill and the Supreme, and he was a bit disappointing obviously last year when he lost to Elixir de Nuts in the Clarence House. But I think John Bond wins this race. I think Edward Stone, I know Jamie loves him. He's too old and he's underperformed too many times for me recently. Boot Hill's better at Ascot, and Calico's a handicapper. Liberty Hunter would be good. On
Yeah.
heavy ground, I think, softer heavy ground. I think he'd be interesting, but nah, John Bond wins. He wins well.
All
You like
right.
Everton.
Hmm?
You like Edwardstone as a horse,
Did you once upon a
as
time?
an animal with four legs.
He made me a lot of money in an Arkle chase one day.
I think he's
Fair enough.
talking with his pocket. That's the one, in it. You got to stick by those ones. Jamie
Price
Wren.
wise, Ren, pocket
Jamie,
talker.
Jamie Wren. Who wins the Schlur Chase and why?
He was actually there last year. Obviously, you were there, Andrew, weren't you? We were all there. Maybe
That I
not,
can
man.
that I can remember. Yes,
Yeah, can you remember? Yeah.
slightly. Yeah.
We were all there last year when he won, and I was actually standing next to Tommy's brother Simon in the parade ring afterwards, and we could hear Harry Skelton. I've never seen a horse travel as fast as it down the hill at Cheltenham over 2 miles than John Bon. He was very impressive last year in the race. I will say he wins the canter. Would he win a champion chase? No.
Correct.
Simple. Okay, Andrew. What about the Hendo form as well? Are you concerned about this? Like, is it something to worry about or a
No.
bit- no?
There's a slight worry.
No.
He had one win today at a bolted up, but he's having a few that are running very below par, and then the less. I was going to say the more said about Jericho, the weapon A, the better. Weapon A, weapon A. The fuck, Jesus Christ. That was a shambles at Sandown before we get on. That was an absolute shambles. He went missing. He went missing for about what 20 minutes. Didn't know where he was. He was Nicky coming out saying he's saddling like trying to saddle a line or something like that. Nicky want to put down the whiskey, God bless him. But it's a slight worry, but he should carry these and beat him. But it's looking like that he mightn't run. Nicky came out today and said if the ground is not safe, he's not going to run, and there's no sign of rain, it's just going to get colder.
He's got to get them out though, hasn't he? Like, he hasn't got much time to start getting them ready. We're
Like
in the
what I
wind.
don't get is like what kind of ground are they looking for? Like soft ground. Like it's going to be good to soft. Like
Yeah, sure, sure.
they'd run him with Cheltenham on that
Yeah,
perfectly fine
exactly.
ground. I don't get all of this. Like, and like Willie came out the other day, he was interviewed and they said, "Are you worried about Punchestown? It might be good to soft ground." He said, "I'm training them for Punchestown. They'll run a Punchestown."
Yeah, sure, sure.
Um,
It just feels like a poor excuse to me, to be honest. I don't think it's dangerous ground for them, like, you know?
like, and then is there still something lingering in Nicky's, or you get them questions? Is Con Hill still alive and whatnot?
Yeah.
do you believe everything you? I don't know. You have to see a few of the big boys come out now. If he comes out and just does what he does, he'll beat these. But I'd have a swing on Master Chewy without him. He was taking in grade one at Aintree at the end of the season, so I know what the way you're thinking. Um, he'd be one I'd take a stab on without Jambon. Um, but yeah, he should win. If he jumps around, he wins. If he doesn't take the second last home with him, he'll win.
Okay, and Tommy, is it straightforward for John Bon?
It's got to be John Bond. Just move on.
I suppose if you're taking him on, aren't you? You're hoping something's not going to be quite right for him on the day. But simple as
But it
that,
all
Tommy.
depends too, right? It all depends on the Hendo's horses in the first race too, right? How they're running. But at the same time, like, there's nothing in the same class as John Bond in this race, right? So, and
Well,
I presume they are. I presume they are watering in Cheltenham.
you'd imagine so with Nicky having to go in there here, like
Like, what would it be a tempting price to get you involved?
John
four to
Bond.
nine. 4 to 9 is too short for me. 4 to 9.
He's, eight to 11. I'll take 8 to
He's
11.
definitely going to drift to 8 to 11 for 45. There's no way he's going to go to
Yeah, as Tom said there, if their heart is for two races, the horses don't run well. I think the bookies be tempted to
Yeah,
take a
yeah.
few quid on them.
Yeah.
I think they would, yeah.
I don't mind to pop on a short one, but 4 to 9, I'm not sure. Something just there's just a question in the back of your mind, isn't there, with John Bond that he might even just throw in a bit of a wobbler. Is he totally suited to Cheltenham as well? That could be something you could question, maybe. But okay, so pretty unanimous though for John Bond, but a shout for Master Chew without him for by Halligan. Right, we'll have a look at the 255, the cross country, 3 mile 5 furlong. Galvin 5 to 1, Stumptown 6 to 1, who'll love this ground. Dow to work at 13 to 2, Conflated at 12s. Fakir Doodery doesn't seem interested to me anymore. Mr. Coffee, who can't win a race, 12 to 1, 14 to 1 bar. Let's go with Jamie. What do you fancy, mate?
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth, Joe. Trying to should, but Stumptown, they've always wanted a good ground for this horse. Should have wanted the Touche Cup in Punchestown. He was bumped 5 out, and he was unseated.
Bumped,
Bumped.
speared.
Yeah, he was nearly rugby tackled midair. He'd have won the Touche Cup, and then he came out in the Saturday, wasn't it? A Punchestown, he
Yeah.
won easy. It was a bit of a non-race, beat Fame after the glory of Cromwell there by about 5 lengths. Um, I think he's the right chance because he loved the ground. Obviously, Galvin will love the ground too, but he's getting weight from Galvin, and I think this is maybe his day, and he probably might not win anything until maybe the 105 cross countries they have in Punchestown in May, I
Yeah.
suppose. One of them, man.
I love these.
Yeah, but no, I'd back him definitely. He's definitely worth about a 6 to 1 anyway. Confidence, not really. But it's a cross country; you never know what's going to happen. But
Sure,
I
sure, sure.
wouldn't put anyone off Stumptown at 6 to 1 though.
Tommy, who do you fancy in the cross country? And are all these Gordon horses going to turn up, or will we see one of them perhaps?
I have Cocoa Beach turns up, he wins it. If not, it's going to be Galvin,
Yeah,
whichever one turns up. That's
simple
what
as
I think.
that.
It's between the. I think it's between the two of them.
I suppose the
I can't
mark
have some time.
you can't have stunt time. Don't fancy him at all.
No,
How come you don't
no
like
thanks.
him? In that sense, just not a horse you're with
I like him.
generally, or
Like if you look at the ratings, right? He's down at 149, right? And you're looking at Galvin, you're looking at Cocoa Beach, 159. There's a big difference there, right?
sure, sure.
Class shows at the end if they've got a kick at the end. And the likes of Galvin and Cocoa Beach have a serious kick at the end. So I think you need a kick in that cross country at the very end. So one of the two of them turns up, I'll be on one of them minimum.
Okay, perfect. Going against Jamie then. Scotty, cross country winner.
I agree with what Tommy said about the ratings. I think Stumptown's only, sorry, Galvin's £6 ahead of Stumptown in the ratings, and I think it's a big thing here. I think Galvin's way ahead of Stumptown on form and class. I think
Right.
the ground, obviously, like we said, it's going to be right up Galvin Street. He's getting £11 off the likes of Conflated, whether he runs or not, or whether he's just in there to kind of keep the weights down. I don't know what he's doing in there, to be honest. All these horses, Gordon, he's not going to run them all. I'd be definitely on the side of Galvin, and I think 9 to 2 is quite a fair price about him, if I'm being honest. The likes of Fakir Doodery's, I agree, he's gone at the game. I gave him a chance the other day. I think he's way gone. Mr. Coffee's in there. He could run around 18 times on his own and still not win. Um, but I'm going to say Galvin to win the race, but in the long term, I'd be looking at Vanillier. I think it's quite an interesting entry, and Gavin Cromwell's quite shrewd at placing his horses, as we know. Especially when it comes to March. If you see him kind of quietly campaign for the rest of the season and put away after this race, I'd be keen on him for the long run. But yeah, it's not a race I get involved in early season. I do respect Stumptown, but I think Galvin, class-wise, he can give him £6 and win this race easily. And if they all jump the last together, or even if Galvin's a length down jumping the last, I'd still fancy him to get past Stumptown on the running, especially on the ground. So
All right. Well, I'm with Stumptown. I'm with Jamie on Stumptown here, so we're sort of splitting the field. Andrew, tell us what actually happens then.
They all come to the first, and someone takes out half the field.
Is there a price for that?
Um, I love these races. I think there should be more of them.
Yeah, I enjoy watching
I
them.
love them.
Yeah, good, good.
If I could go watch a whole card of them, I would.
Oh, jeez.
The cross country
Um,
meeting.
but no, I don't think Delta or Cocoa Beach or Conflated will run here. Um, I agree with the two of you. I like Stumptown. I didn't like what I saw with Galvin in America. He looked a shell of his former self there. If the old Galvin turned up there, he would have battered them. And I just think the legs might be gone. Look, obviously he probably will thrive around here. But I think Stumptown, look, he turned himself inside out going over the cross countries at Punchestown, and he's a winner at Cheltenham. Was the last season he won the handicaps?
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day, he won the big handicaps New Year's Day, and he was given a, a rare bad ride by Keith Dunhoven. He's third in the one after that. I think he's still a 7-year-old, still on the improve. I also same as Scotty. I think Fanilia is a very interesting runner here. He could be one of the dark horses in here. When he wants to get out the right side of the bed, and remember that he's an actual racehorse, he turns up, which is about once every 3 years. But we might hope that this might spark a bit of life into him. Like, what was he, second in the Grand National 2 years ago?
Yeah,
If you
second.
get anywhere near that off this kind of mark, there's hope from at 20 to 1. But I'd be confident up Stumptown will not be out of the top three here. I think if the old Galvin was still himself, he would not be 5 to 1. I don't think he's half the horse he was, and that's just going on what I saw in America. I know it was like racing around Tranmore, but
Should have won that day.
and the ground was probably a bit more firmer than he liked, but he
Yeah.
still should have picked them up.
Yeah, he was in position, wasn't he? It wasn't like there was an excuse to get beat effectively, was it?
Yeah, and there was a few bad jumps out of him, which is not like him. But look, we know what he done in the cross country before, and he will be hard to beat if he turns up. But I think Stumptown is the one that could progress even more through in these races.
Okay, fine. So yeah, like I said, stumped out for me as well. Brilliant jumper. Should find this, no worries at all. Right, we'll move on. The 330, the Albert Bartlett Novices Hurdle, grade 2 over 3 miles. Potter's Charm 9 to 4. Valgrand 5 to 2. Manila 6 7 to 2. Persian Moor winner, Flying Fortune at fives. 8 to 1 for Mr. Percy. 8 to 1 for Pattern Merchant. And then 10 to 1 bar. I guess this is where we'll find out how good Valgrand is, lads, right? Because Potter's Charm's no mug. We
Yeah.
saw a pretty good performance last time out. Tommy, do you want to kick us off for the Albert Bartlett?
Yeah. I wonder, like, does anyone know if Paddy Merchant is coming over?
I said to Jamie, I don't think so based on the price because he's got quite strong credentials, hasn't he? But again, if he does
Yes,
turn up, a good bit of value there standing out, right?
yeah, because his form goes all the way back to Sounds Victorious, which is back to the bumper last year with Romeo
Sure,
and
sure.
Julian on board. So that's really good form, right? But we don't know how good Valbrand is, right? He was probably the best handicapped horse in the whole country, in the whole of England, right? Last
Yeah,
until he won, right?
yeah,
Probably outside of Dice Sardinas that Jamie's going to talk about later on,
of
right?
course.
But
Yeah, yeah.
that's
I
the
mean,
next best handicapped horse in the country, right?
he got 22
Next
pounds, I
handicap
think.
worse than Britain by a country mile.
Who was?
Yeah. 22 pounds, I think
The winner of the
Valgrand
Britain
got
hurdle.
the last day,
She'll win
wasn't it?
by half the track.
Oh, that
Say that
joke.
again, Jimmy.
She'll
Can't
win
hear
by
you.
half the track.
That's what I'm saying. He's probably the best handicapped horse in the country right now. The Valgrand has won already, right? So,
Do you think
but
Valgrand?
22 pounds. But
Yeah.
22 pounds is a lot for Valgrand. But you know, I went through the form of pretty much all of them, and he, if Valgrand improves any bit, I think he is the beating of all these. Right?
Potter's Charm to me looks like one that stays no problem, but more of a galloping sort. Where Valgrand looks maybe a bit speedier, but stays anyway, sort of thing. Like you know. Yeah, I agree with you, Tommy. I agree.
Now,
Andrew,
if
what
Pat
about
Merchant does come over, like you'd have to look.
Would you look at him for the Albert Bartlett in March for Patter Merchant then as an early look? Would you, Tommy?
Um, I nearly would, yeah, but I'd want to see him here first, you know what I mean,
Okay.
before
Yeah,
because
Yeah,
his
fair enough.
form is like the
that's
form
good.
is very strong, right? So
Cool. Fine. Fine. Let's go to Halligan then. We'll go back round.
If I can get 94 on Potter's Dream on the day, I am GSI.
Oh, you really? Yeah. All over it.
Oh, Potter's Charm. What did I say?
On the street.
Potter's Dream. Sorry, I'm dreaming about my money.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that like Waterford trying to win an Ireland dreaming?
it's never going to happen. It's like never going to happen. Um, I was ultra impressed with the way he got the job done. Last time out, traveled, jumped, and looked the winner miles out. Uh, he's just a big raw animal, and he's going to keep progressing as the season goes on. And I just think it'll take some performance to beat him. Valgrand, was it too good to be true? Probably.
Okay.
How
Okay.
much did that take out of him? We don't know. But you don't win going away like that, and it's not after taking a lot out of you. Harry Skelton going from when he's 20 lengths clear.
Yeah, he did, didn't
What are
he?
you
Yeah.
doing?
Sure. Sure. Sure.
But I think Potter's Charm is probably going to be the best out of a lot of them. And I think he's showing on Friday. I think he's going to be a very good horse, and I think he takes some beating on Friday.
Yeah. All right. Potter's Charm or Potter's Dream, should we say, for
Either or.
For Andrew. Jamie, who wins the Albert Bartlett? The
I would
trial.
Tom here, right, if Peter Merchant comes over, especially with the form of the bumper last year at Christmas with Sounds of Victorious, you'd have to take note, but I think he probably needs a bit of soft ground.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
the
Sure.
way I wanted Galway the last day. I think this is, but here, I think this is an apple Friday all day long. Flying Fortune, the way it won the Persian War, and absolutely
Yeah.
destroyed Intense Approach. Like, what was Harry Skelton doing? Off a mark 118. No, Van got £22 for that. There's no way in God's green earth Valgrand is going to give £7 to Flying Fortune the way Intense Approach beat the
That's
horse
true.
the
That's
way
true.
he
Got a good
did
form line. Yeah. Yeah.
at Cheltenham in October. So 5 to 1. Like if you got 5 to 1, you're in each way better to get your money back at easy money at 5 to 1. Fill your boots because it won't be out of the first three, and I think it'll win Flying Fortune for me.
Yeah.
It's much
Okay.
better racing, wouldn't it?
No way better. But
Will she
still,
handle
I love
Cheltenham?
her.
Will she
she's a
handle
very good
Cheltenham
I
as
horse.
love her.
well?
She's improving all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will she handle Cheltenham?
I think she will. Yeah, if you handle the Chepstow, you'll handle Cheltenham.
Yeah, true. Got the long uphill straight as well, haven't they?
Fair point.
Love that. Scotty.
I'm going to throw something into the mix, which I didn't think a lot of people may not agree with, but I was like Andrew said there, Val Grand. How much? Tom said it as well. How much did Val Grand have left after that race? Like Harry Skelton, like 20 lengths clear and absolutely riding the shit out of him to the line. It was just pointless. Um, I agree again what Jamie said. I think Flying Fortune was very impressive in the Persian War. But the form all ties in together, doesn't it? Obviously, Gail Marler had beaten Flying Fortune, and they went and won that race. Valgrand's come out and kind of trumped the form since. But the first thing I said is after that race in October was I'd love to see Gail Marler be stepped up and tripped. She was obviously well beaten, but she was staying on again. I liked her attitude. I was impressed with it, and I think 10 to 1. Depending on how many runners there is in the race, we probably won't get 8. I think 10 to 1's a good each way price. Seeing her up and trip, getting £7 from Valgrand. He's obviously the one to beat for me. I'm not a fan of Potter's Charm. I think the form's garbage. Screams very much early season, like Hermes
Jesus.
Allen.
Bit of harsh, that's
Fucking
fucking.
hell. There's a way to
Hermes Allen
guess.
kind of early season vibes. They nick all the prize money as early as they can, like the likes of Twiston Davies and Nichols in these races. I wouldn't fancy him at all, and I think 2 to 1's way too short. Um, Mr. Percy, I don't know if he's an intended runner for Joseph. He was impressive in his maiden hurdle win. I was impressed with him. He was very good up at Limerick, but I'm going to take a chance, and I'm not going to say Gail Marler's going to beat Valgrand and reverse the form, but up in trip at 10 to 1, I think it's a cracking each way bet, and I'll be willing to give her another chance, and I think she'll definitely get closer to Valgrand.
Yeah, okay, fair point. I like that, Scotty. I like that. I think I'm going to stick with Valgrand. I'm cautious though that form, like you said, might get blown apart a bit, but I will side for him for now. He's not given too much weight away. Actually, he is giving away. He's got the penalty as well, hasn't he? I'll give him a chance, but I wouldn't be too hung up on him as a strong fancy anyway. Right, we'll go on to Saturday. We've got the Paddy Power Arkle Trial, the Grade 2, 2 miles, 40 grand to the winner. We got Harry Skelton's Lotus Sud as the 7 to 4 favourite. Jordan's at 4 to 1. Pat DeRue at fives. Iberico Lord at fives, who won the great win at this meeting last year. Look away at 10 to 1. And Scotty, we'll go back with you. Who wins the trial?
Load of Sud absolutely pisses up, absolutely destroys them. He, this horse is going to be a Grade One horse this year. I'm not saying he's an Arkle horse. I keep on looking at. My mind is very weird. It works as like I'm a race planner in my head. I say Aintree, the Maghull Novices Chase over 2 miles in April. This is the race he'll win this year. I think he takes all the beating here. Brilliant at Stratford. Um, Obviously Skelton's horses are in form at the moment. I think it's a cracking little race. Iberico Lord's obviously got an entry. Nico's dropped up to ride. I think he's very interesting, but again, I think he's more soft heavy. Won the Betfair Hurdle last year. Won another big handicap earlier in the season. He's depends on how he takes to the fences. We've already covered how Jericho de Repene flopped and jumped like an absolute washing machine on the weekend at Sandown. So I'd be worried about how all the Henderson horses are in form at the moment.
Please.
So looking at Jamie just laughing, he's dying to say something. But no, I'm going to keep it simple. I think Lotus should win this and
Oh,
wins it
yeah,
well.
it's funny. Honestly, it's very good.
So in my race planning head, he'll win this race. He'll win the Novices Chase at Kempton at Christmas, and then I think we won't see him at Cheltenham in March. I think we'll see him at Aintree, and he'll win the 2 mile Grade One there.
Yeah, I think he looked pretty good the last day. He hasn't got any good form over 2 miles, or that would be my only question mark here. He's never won over 2 miles. Uh,
Wasn't he second in the county hurdle over 2 miles at the festival?
Yeah.
2 mile, 1.5, I think, though, isn't it?
Oh,
County? Is it
okay,
a little
you're
bit
being very
longer?
picky there, but yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you're saying.
maybe so, maybe so. Yeah. Anyway, James.
Wouldn't disagree with Scotty, but like just saying to Andrew there,
I won't disagree, but I'm going to.
yeah, like how after a race around a greyhound track like Stratford that he's got a £10 higher mark already than his hurdle mark when he could win big handicap hurdles last year. I'm going to Iberico Lord anyway. For me, he's soft ground. Exactly what Scotty said. There's no, I probably won't even run. I know it's stopped there by Nico, but it probably won't run. I would never back Iberico Lord on good ground ever again because it has absolutely no chance on good ground. He's a soft ground, heavy ground horse. You said 10 to 1 there, Joe. Look away. I'm like, that is the each way bet of the whole meeting.
Hmm.
The nothing. Look the way it won the Grade Two in Moscow. Is it sorry, the Sky Bet Novices Hurdle is it at the October meeting last year. And then it was second to Iberico Lord and the Great was.
Agree with you.
Yeah, and it was soft ground that day. I was there, sure. But I think Look Away is the type of horse that not leads good ground, will go out in front and catch me if you can, and loves the track. So 10 to 1 to me is way overpriced compared to Load of Sud. So I'd have a bit of that.
Yeah, okay, lovely. Nice each way shout for Jamie. Andrew, who wins the trial?
Yeah, I'm kind of torn between the two, Scotty and Scotty said there with Loda saw. I really liked the way he done a bar him trying to land on top of one of the fences. But besides that, it was a good performance. It was in the shape of a horse who was going to commit himself over fences. I backed him for the county last year and he got done by a third. Thought he should have won, but he got done by a very good ride by Paul Townend. He's going to be a lot better over fences, but I think a 7 to 4 a bit skimpy when you consider that he obviously we just saw that he has a tendency already to flatten one. Look, he's going to learn from that, obviously. But 7 to 4, I think is a bit short. I think 10 to 1, same as Jamie. I think it's a ridiculous price for Lookaway with his former now in Cheltenham. Obviously, second in the county, won that graded hurdle. Good performance. Good performance. You talk so it was only 2 on the race, but look, he got experience into himself and he won nicely. I think 10 to 1. He can't see him be 10 to 1 on the day, but if you fancy him now, I'd back him at 10 to 1, and it'll be as Jamie said, out in front, catch me you can, and if they can't, you're looking at 10 to 1. Is
Yeah,
very very tasty.
good jumper as well. Like, he's not going to make many mistakes. So, like I said, it's catch me if you can. Big style, isn't it? Really, he's not going to give up
And the
any
only
errors.
downfall probably would be if he does go out in front, he could set it up for light aside because he stays 40. He could set it up for him. But look, saying that if he's 10 to 1 around the day, you'd have a good each way bet. But if light aside starts drifting to the 5 to 2, 11 to 4 mark, you'd be kind of standing there going, yeah, I think I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like with Lookaway, I really like him here. I think Pat Darou's probably going under the radar a little bit. I know he didn't show his best form last time out, but he's generally a solid jumper. He's good course and distance winner, and he's going to have Keith Donoghue around Cheltenham. That's to me is a massive plus. Don't like Loda Sud though at all. I don't like him over this sort of trip. I don't like him on this fast ground as well. I'd be more than happy to take him on, but I understand the appeal there as
Pat the
well.
Roy won't run. Pat Roy ran today.
Petrol run today.
Did he? Okay, well, there you
Mm.
go. Shows what I've seen so far today. Fair enough. Okay, well, look away with me then as well. Each way, great value. Tommy.
All right. I've got one rule when it comes to the Arkle races, right?
Okay,
And it's
okay, I
the
love
same
it.
thing in Ireland, and I
Back to
always go with
Irish.
the top. What were you saying, Jeremy?
Not me.
Back to Irish, is it? Is that the rule?
No, I just believe in the top hurdler always wins the
Okay,
Arkle
okay,
chain, right? So if you look at the hurdlers here, I'm looking at Ludasada and I'm looking at Iberico.
sure.
Like we made a mistake last year when we were up in DRF, and the one thing that we said this year, Jamie, was that no matter what the ground is, the horse is good enough. He's going to win on any ground.
Mhm.
So for me, I think it's between, as Scotty said at the start, I think Lunason is going to be a great one horse by the end of the year. And the only danger I because Iberico Lord is probably the top handicap and the top rated in the hurling. I do fancy him as a danger.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think, but if you put a gun to my head, I would go with Lucas.
Okay, fair enough, fair
I
enough.
call him
Okay,
Skelton personally for him.
a few split decisions there then. He just reminds me of JPR1 a little bit, like just gonna come just short at the top level. But like you said, he won't need to be top level, I guess, at the same time to win a race like this. So okay, right, we'll
Exactly.
move on to the main highlight for the entire weekend, which is the 220, the Paddy Power Gold Cup. 2 mile 4 furlongs, 80 grand to the winner. And the betting is as follows. We've got Ginny's Destiny at 3-1. Imagine at fours. Il Ridotto at 7-1. Garlaw at nines. In Excelsius Deo at tens. Let's Go Champ at 12s. And then 14-1 bar. Let's stick with you, Tommy. Have you got a strong opinion here?
I'm going back and forth on this one all day, funny enough, but I've come down on two horses. I've come
Okay.
down on Imagine for
Yeah.
Harry Durham, and I've come down on In Excelsius Deal.
Interesting.
Now,
Interesting.
like as in Excelsius Deal, obviously, you know, like his form is very strong. Right, there's no doubt in my mind. Like he's beaten some really good horses in the past. Like he was fifth to Shake 'em Up Harry. He was only like 2.5, 4.5 lengths behind him. He was second to Madara. Third to Dancing on My Own. These horses can't be taken lightly, right?
Yes.
So, you know, like there's good form there, but the only problem with him is that he hangs out the back. Right? And if Ginny's Destiny and Il Rodoro start kicking, they're going to go right from the hell for leather right in the front. It happened a few years ago with Fugitive and El Redora, but I'm coming down on Imagine. I don't know why. I just think he's the improver in the field. I think there's a lot to come from him yet. So for me, Imagine.
Imagine for Tommy. Go on then, Scott. You're smiling. What for? Talus.
He loves Imagine.
I love Imagine. Yeah, I'm on Tommy's side. I've been screaming about
Imagine
this
times.
horse in my little, not bigging myself up on Ginger Joe Racing, sponsored by betting.co.uk, but in the uh,
He's doing so
in
for
the
the
five to
company.
follow, my dark.
Plug. Shameless plug. I love it.
That's
Keep
it.
the bosses happy.
I'm not going to go on about how I tipped JPR1 up 6 months ago for the Howdon Gold Cup too much, but my
You just
second
did.
horse I really fancy for this
You,
race was Jello, who's not
you
running
didn't put
now.
up Protectorate 7 months before a Ryanair, 33 to 1.
Oh, here they go. Clash of the Swords. Look.
But yeah, no, I do like Imagine.
Oh,
I've liked him a long time for this race. Again, like Tommy said, I think he's the up and coming horse in the race. I think it's a very easy race to solve, if I'm being honest. There's a lot of dead wood in there. You've got the seasoned handicappers, the likes of we've mentioned Il Ridotto. He's a solid place pot kind of bet, but the likes of Fugitive, Janadil, Editor de Jeet, all those type of horses have had their day kind of thing, and I don't think they're going to feature. Garlaw won this as a six-year-old a couple of years ago. Imagine falls into that bracket. He's a 6-year-old, and I think he's got some cracking form. I think last year he won a race where he beat the likes of I know the way you're thinking. Who's obviously gone and won Grade One since. He beat Pinkerton, who we mentioned in our previous show. He's gone on to win the Galway Plate. I mean, the only slight thing that would be a concern is the ground. Again, I think he's more effective on a softer, heavy surface, but I just think he's an up and coming horse. He's the improver. He's a potential Ryanair horse for March, and I'm very, very keen on him. I think Ginny's Destiny is stage star-esque. If there's going to be a horse who's going to step up again to be a top Grade One horse, it's going to be Ginny's Destiny. But the concern for me was he missed his prep run earlier in the season. And I think horses that come into this race need a prep run. Again, I'm talking about Imagine. He's in the same bracket, but out of the two, I'd favour Imagine. And if I was to have an each way bet in the race, it probably would be Il Rodotto just because he's very consistent at Cheltenham and he's still off a lightweight. I don't know how he's so low down in the handicap. You've obviously got horses in there rated a lot higher than him, but they'd be the two for me. I'd be keen on Imagine and I'd have a small each way on Il Rodotto. That'd be the forecast for me.
Interesting. Jamie Wren.
Scotty at the end really stole my thunder, a horse I fancy, and it's Il Risotto. But I'll explain the race in quickly. Ginny's Destiny obviously is the class horse in the race. He'll do this, try to do the same as Stage Star. It's the same mark as last year. We'll try to do the same, but I don't think he's as good as Stage Star was because he actually never won a Turners, where Stage Star did win a Turners
Yeah,
against a
sure.
very good horse and what was it, Mighty Potter at the time. I'm going on last year, Joe, that he was off what 144 last year. Now Freddie Gingle took five off, so that's 139. Now he's down to 138, and Freddie Gingle had £3 off, so he's 135. But this time he's had a run. Last year he didn't, and I like that. And it was like, was it our tipstar friend Liam Firkin says, stats and trends and all that crack. Have a run before the Paddy Power, and you what was it 9 out of 10 win that?
Yeah, 9
So
out of 10.
he's definitely it's the race that exactly what Tom said earlier with the race with Fugitive in the December Gold Cup last year, wasn't it? And the 2.5 mile and in the December meeting. It's just the way he ran hell for leather with Briney that day. And I think if he just
Shock.
yeah,
Trying,
shock.
trying not able to
Shock
control a
Briney from the
horse.
front. But no, it's the way it ran that day. And I think it just stalk Ginny's Destiny into the straight. And I think it's handicapped to win after having to run the last day at Chepstow. And it's still getting over a stone from Gala. So now it all depends on Protectorate. The weights can go up £12 if Protectorate doesn't run. Now apparently Protectorate is running because I say Skelton said he might run. So that means a pound out of the handicap for Il Risotto. I don't take any notice of that shit. So he'll be 10 stone, £3 off, 9 stone, 10. I think it's a cracking bet, and he loves Cheltenham. What's more to like?
Well, what is more to like? I'm literally with you both as well. Honestly, he's never been a horse that I've been with, but just echo everything you said there. Certainly, he's got all of his terms. I don't think he's going to go off like he did last time out. It'll be held up just for a little bit longer tactically as well. Really like it. Like you said, he's got that run as well. Andrew, what about yourself? Who wins the big one?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I haven't really got stuck into this race yet. I'm just sitting here listening to ye going on there. I'm just looking at Imagine's form is very good when you look back at it. I know the way you're thinking. Who's gone on to win the Grade One? You're Pinkerton, who's won the Galway Plate, and he's been in behind Spillane Tower and that a Punchestown the end of the season. Jeez, he looks well handicapped. I'm just literally the first time I properly looked at this race. He looks well handicapped 6-1. But my problem with him is Harry Durham's or his horses over back all the time 6-1. What's his form like? Harry Durham's not having a great time of it. But is this just stage? Are we trying to make it complicated? Is it just stage star 2.0?
Maybe,
Is it as
maybe.
easy as that? Because when he jumped the last year stage, I was thinking, how the fuck did I miss that?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
did I
sure.
not just go with the obvious? Is it so obvious that it's unfathomably true? Like we can't say the Nichols horse are out of form now because he's banging in winners. He had obviously a few faults today, which is no fault of his own. If you put gun to my head right now, it would be Genie's Destiny over Imagine. But if by some miracle the rain came, I'd be quite keen on Imagine if he can kick on from what he's shown last year. Because look, that run alone behind, I know the way you're thinking, and I like the way you're thinking, whichever one it is. And Pickerton, that's standout to me. I know Genie's Destiny was second in the Turners and then was beaten by the King George winner, Elite Tomp. What? How many months out with him from the King George? A month?
A
It
month
let
and a
it
half.
with the King George.
Oh, watch.
You off your game?
Oh, watch.
Ah,
On the
God.
grey little purple rat.
Yeah, I agree with Andrew there. Like,
Didn't see
nothing
that
wrong with
joke.
him.
But yeah, it'll all depend on ground. If we by some miracle get a load of rain, which probably won't, I would be with Imagine, but I've no strong say right now. That's no help to no one. I waffled on about
Denny
5 minutes.
Sexton.
It'll be bigger on the day though, won't he, Ginny's? Like it's 3-1 now. It'll be a little bit
I think
bigger.
he will. He's what
Into
4 5 to
four,
1,
five
4
to one.
5 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay. And Imagine's got that form as well. And from the Martin Pipe, did he finish fourth or fifth in the
He was
Martin
yeah
Pipe?
behind the Rocco, and yeah,
Yeah, okay,
that's,
fair
I
enough.
love that race. That's a good race always. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm
help you.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. It is like you said though, Andrew, isn't it? Is it just staring us in the face? I remember last year I had a decent Saturday. And I did something I don't usually do, and I ended up getting to the race covering a few other horses because I was like, okay, I've got a couple of good things going here. Didn't cover stage star, and then we obviously know what happened next, didn't we? But Iridoto for me as well. Okay, on to Sunday. We will look at the Great Wood Hurdle, the 330 over 2 miles, 56 grand. I can't wait for this race. I love the Great Wood Hurdle, I do. Dysart Enos 7-2, Burdett Road at 5-1, Go Dante at tens, Under Control at tens, Be Aware at tens, Lump Sum at tens, and then we've got a few others at 14-1 and bigger. We'll start off with Jamie Wren here. He's smiling. He's all excited. Look at him.
The biggest certainty of the whole year for a handicap. This horse is £20 in hand, I don't care what anyone says. Right? This, like, no horse, right? Even Brighter Days Ahead or Golden Ace, but, or what's the other one? Jade the
Jade the
Groove.
Grugy.
But we give this horse £5 at Cheltenham. Not a hope in it. Was on soft, good ground. She's all speed.
Why don't you marry her for the love of God? Jesus Christ.
She is, I think she's a top class horse, to be honest. And 131's an insult to her. Um, I really do. I think she's an absolute certainty. The only horse I will say bar her each way would be Liari. Was really quite defensive last year. Pulled up in the Fred Winter. I don't. I think it like better ground this because it obviously came from France. I think it needs better ground, not soft ground. It was soft ground that day, Lark in the morning when the Boodles. But it was a good run the last day in Chepstow where Nichols' horses weren't going well. And Dodger Long was second then to give me five in the Masters and Holden Hurdle at Cheltenham. Um, Again, a run before the Great Wood is definitely, and it's overpriced, I think, each way 12 to 1. But I well, I'll be crying if Dice Arlingness doesn't win.
I'd call you. You'd be alright.
If I told you, because I've had a little bit of word that at home she's keen, they can't stop her being keen. Would that worry you at all, like for this race?
You stopped listening to what people tell you in yards.
I am just
No,
questioning, just
no,
questioning,
Seriously.
no.
just chucking it out there. That's
She's
all, Andrew.
brilliant.
Just chucking it out there.
She's, I think she's a 150s mare. So if like, but as I say, the other side of it is that it's a handicap at Cheltenham. Anything can happen,
Yeah,
obviously.
sure.
But I think she's 150s mare. Yeah.
When Sean Dunn hears things finishing on the bridle and gallops out in Naas and he's battling for bumpers.
Yeah, but he's from Dublin.
Jesus Christ almighty.
You're from Waterford. He's from Dublin.
What's worse?
What's worse?
Tommy, put us right. Who wins the Great Wood?
I think Jamie's right. I think this mare's got £20 in hand. I think she's a 150 mare. I probably even more 155. If you look at the form with Golden Ace last year, right? You know what I mean? And she would probably would have. She probably would have won the mares novice doing handstands, right? And she's going in here and she's got to have £20 in hand without a doubt. I like as Jamie said, like if this horse doesn't win, like we shouldn't be tipping horses, right? Because I think this is a certainty. It is a nap at the meeting night, but obviously it's too obvious to be the nap at the meeting night. But I mean, I just think without a doubt certainty.
She will be becoming frustrating if she doesn't win this for Fergal, won't she? Like the fact that she didn't get to Cheltenham and then,
The thing is, like,
But the only
Joe,
thing is the only thing is you're
where'd you
mentioned.
go with her if she doesn't win, like?
well,
That's what I
that's
mean. Like, where do you go?
couldn't tell you to be honest. Yeah, especially with this mark as well. No answers, no answers. Okay,
Yeah.
two for Dysart Enos. Scotty.
Yeah, I think the lads are right. I think you're going to see her kind of. I think she's a champion hurdle horse. Forget the mare's hurdle. I think she could be a champion hurdle horse. I think she could be that good. I think she's going to win this. She'll take all the beating, obviously. Going to keep it simple. I think she wins and with the lads. And I'm not going to have a bet against her in the race. But if we are a tipping show sometimes, there's one that I think each way that could run into a place, and that's a skeleton horse. He's got a good record. Won at the West Cork, Northfield Harvey in previous years,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's Be Aware. Be Aware's 10-1. Pretty solid form in the book. He was second in the novice final at Sandown behind Helmween in April. Got experience in these big fields. He was second of 20 in that race. He won a 16 runner race at Newbury in January. He was second to Cam Cenas and Yellow Star in races after that. I think he's a good each way bet, but it's all about Dysart Enos. Not my kind of bet to have 3-1 to get stuck into, but I wouldn't put anybody off. I think she's a good thing.
A good ting. A good
Good
thing,
thing.
not a good thing. Good thing. Andrew, who do you fancy in
Huh?
the Greatwood?
You.
Have you had a look at this one, Andrew? Or
I had a glance at this morning. Yeah, look, it's very hard to get away from Dice Sardinas. All the form is being backed up left, right, and centre. 131 looks, say the least, a small bit generous. 7-2. Do you want to back in a 7-2? Yeah, you probably will. Look,
yeah?
if she bar an accident, she'd probably win. But Jamie stole my thunder with the one I wanted to put up, and it's Liari. You go back to Chepstow, I think this thing opened up at the 9-4 to 1 and drifted out to 9-2. Clearly needed a run, ran all well at the end. I think obviously 14's there. If you can get 14's one each way on him with a run under his belt, I think he'll definitely fill the places, but they'd probably have to go some to beat Dice Sardinas. And there's a lot of talk about Burdett Road, which I get and I don't get.
The only thing with Burdett
He
Road,
can't jump.
he
Yeah,
can't jump. That's
he
exactly
can't
it.
jump.
He's by
He,
he's by
he
Muhara as well, the same as a Dream to Share. None of these Muharas can jump. They just run straight through the hurdles, like
and you do that in one of these and you're gone after
yeah,
two footballs.
yeah.
And the only hope they have if the race falls into his lap, if they go off like the clappers and they take each other on the top. That's the only way I can see him run. Yeah, he's probably well in. People are going on about his mark of was he 104 on the flat should be 150 horse based on what? Because you magically add 40 or 35 to
Sure,
his
sure.
hurdle mark. It doesn't always work out like that. If it worked out like that, you'd have every 100 rated flat horse being a champion hurdler. But it just doesn't work like that. It can't jump, so that's a massive issue. Should really be point and shoot for Dice Arenas, but if it all fails, Liari won't be far off the scene.
Any love for under control, anyone as well? 137. She's
Need
out.
further.
Any further 2.5 miler, is she?
Look at the run at Galway Hurdle, and I backed her. She needs further in my book. I think she's a Carl Cup horse, but
She needs to cop on, is what she
yeah,
needs
I
to
need
do.
to cop on a small
Yeah,
reserve.
okay, okay. Fair enough, fair enough.
Obviously, can you ever trust the mayor? No, that's the problem.
Bar Honeysuckle, Bar's Honeysuckle.
Bar Honeysuckle.
What a hero.
Or Cubega.
Cabega.
He's
Oh
got a
God, weren't she
progeny.
something? Weren't she something? Well, look, Dysart Enos is going to be hard to beat, but I'm going to take a swing at lump sum here at 12 as the Welsh champion hurdle winner. He's got a plenty of weight, but he'll handle the ground. He's ran well in this ground when he was finished to Jericho de Repene in the Supreme Trial at
Terrible form.
Doncaster or somewhere. Yeah, it wasn't great, but at least he acted on it. He's kicked on a little bit since then. However, I'll take a swipe at him each way, but I do understand Dysart Enos is going to be pretty hard to beat. Okay, so they are the Cheltenham races done. I'm gonna go around and ask for the best bets of the weekend here. By the sounds of the hype of what we've discussed there, I can imagine she's going to be quite well touted. But let's go with Tommy first. Best bet of the weekend, Tom,
All
from
right, I'm just
the
gonna
bear,
The bear.
the bear.
uh, I'm gonna go with the first race in Cheltenham on the Friday.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say thanks for the invite, and the horse I'm going for is thanks for the help.
Oh wow, wow. Here we go. Dark horse there then
And
for you,
he
like.
and Pipe loves this race, David Pipe, and this horse was I know it was 12 to 23, right, for to Good Time Johnny back at Cheltenham at the Pertemps last year, and she's running in this first. Thanks for the help, is running in this first race. I think thrown in
Off
the handicap,
118 as well. 118 have just had a look. That is a
thrown in.
shrewd shot. That is shrewd as it gets right there. That is.
And there's one other one I would look at is in the juvenile hurdle. I went through all the form in that, and I went through the form in this first race here. And the juvenile hurdle, I think, is between Static and Total Clot.
Wow, I love that. See, outside of the races that we've discussed as well, I love that.
Yeah, because there's no point giving you like Dice Sardinas as a knack, right? But thanks for the help is the knack
No,
that doesn't get
no
you
Dice
off the
Sardinas,
car.
please.
Nice Saturday.
Love that. Love that.
Enjoy with me.
Thanks for the help for the bear. Let's go to Scotty, shall we? What's your best bet of the weekend? Don't say
Uh,
John. Don't say John Bond, Scotty. Come on.
Load of Sud in the Arkle trial.
Load of Sud for Scotty. Jamie.
Flying Fortune in the Albert Bartlett Novice Hurdle on the Friday.
Okay, Flying Fortune for Jamie. Andrew.
Father Sharon to beat Flying Fortune on Friday.
Okay, fine, fair enough. And me, it's going to be. I haven't really thought about it too much. Let's go for Stumptown in the cross country, even though it's not a race I like. We'll go with that. Why not? I haven't thought about it too much, really. I'll look a bit closer near the time.
I have no idea what he said.
Stumped out
Oh, that was my next best. Well done.
Oh, good. That'll do then. That'll do. Gives me a little bit more
I
confidence.
think, you know what I think, Joe? I think Stumptown will be handicapped for the Cheltenham. That's what I think.
But March,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a handicap now.
he's a good jumper as well. Like I said, he might not even enjoy these banks, to be honest with you. I'll have a
I think
proper look there in
I
October.
think he's going to trot around and wait till March, and then he's worried it'll be March. No idea.
So get him in the tracker and the notebook for the time being then and see what happens.
I think he'll win on Sally's naff.
Where do you reckon he'll end up at Cheltenham?
Oh, he'll end up.
I think he, I think he will go back to the cross country, and I think he will win it
It's a
in March.
handicap now.
You
Yeah.
do? You think, oh, so you're saying keep him on side for the cross country in March? Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
March.
wow.
Had that Mickey O'Leary said he won't run on his horses in it, and he has every single one of them.
Yeah, everyone entered.
Yeah,
And
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So as we've got two very special guests with us, I'm going to ask them for some anti-post
Sign up, yeah.
selections,
I do.
really. Let's go with Andrew first in this. So, Andrew, what have you been sort of looking at for Cheltenham and Marches? And even if you haven't got an anti-post selection, who's sort of on your radar and things like that at the moment? Just a quick rant about a few bits and bobs.
Uh, oh, prepare yourself, Andrew.
Yeah, that's the
Ryanair
thing.
looks wide open to me. It looks massively wide open, and I think if they step, well, they're going to step him up, but I think a Lete Tomp on a on the old course, new course will suit him a lot better. I think he's a stayer in the making. I think whatever he's after doing over 2 miles has been a massive achievement because to me he just looks an out and out stayer. He bolted up over 2 mile 4 at Aintree, and then he went on to beat Gaelic Warrior at Punchestown. I look, obviously you can argue that his best performances have been on flat tracks. There's no argument against that, and he has kind of underperformed in the Arkle and Supreme, making two horrendous mistakes. But he still has come back on the premises after making them. So I think if you're going a half a stride slower on a more galloping trap with more spaces in between his jumps, I think he's a cracking bet. I think he's 10, 12 to 1. Because I just try to get the betting up here. Whereas
He's much better now, isn't he, as well, than what he was, for instance, when he was running over hurdles in like the
16 to
Supreme
1.
and stuff. He's much better horse now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just improved with his racing and he looks just like rock solid. There's no real flaws in him. Well, obviously, bar when he made a mistake at Cheltenham. But he seems very solid. He's beaten all the right horses. He's beaten the Turner's winner, first and second. He's gone on to beat Gaelic Warrior, the Arkle winner. Like the form is there to be seen. Is it just it's all pointing to him being the obvious one for the Ryanair because he's not good enough. He's not fast enough for an Arkle, and he's not good enough for a Gold Cup. So playing the percentages, he's a Ryanair horse because he does stay the trip, and he'll probably will stay far further. He's going to run the Ryanair or not the Ryanair, the King
King
George.
George, yeah, yeah.
I think he's having his prep in the John Durkin at the end of the month, and then it'll be King George and DRF, whatever race he's running that in the DRF, and then on to Cheltenham. I really do think he's a standout chance in a Ryanair.
He's a
Do you
good
remember
price,
when
isn't he?
they campaigned Min over 2 miles and he just couldn't
Oh
quite
God,
get his head
don't.
in front, and then they stepped him up to the Ryanair, and then he had his kind of his big moment. It's similar situation, I think. I think you're right.
Yeah,
Well,
He,
oh,
he's
we have
such
an imposter.
he's such an underrated horse as well in the sense, like Andrew said, he just keeps improving. He had a really good novice campaign, loads of graded winners, loads of graded form now. Beat Gaelic Warrior in a sprint, like so. Andrew,
yeah.
what about a
So I
lay?
just
Oh,
getting
go
that
on.
in
Yeah,
front of me.
go for
Sorry
it.
here.
Go
He's
for it.
like you've Gaelic Warrior. To me, he's going to run in an Arkle. You've Banbridge, um
Champion
or
chase,
Champ
but yeah,
Chase.
yeah,
What did I
yeah, yeah.
say?
Oh, cool.
Arkle. Sorry, he won the Arkle. Gaelic Warrior going to run in the Champion Chase. You've Banbridge are so ground dependent. It's not even funny. John Bond, they have their mindset on running in a Champion Chase, which is beyond me. He should be running here. And then you've looked at Litty Thompson's gone into 8 to 1 with this is with Paddy Power now. You've El Fabiolo. Is he the same? And Litty France not going to run this. 50 probably will. You protect her at Embryon and all that. When you take them out, it's a lot of them are past their best. And this fella's on the way up. And you get to me, Gaelic Warrior definitely will go champion chase. He might end up favourite, you know. I think he's one to definitely get in your book now.
What about a
Can I ask
lay
a
then?
question?
Go on, go
Can
on.
I ask a question to Andrew quickly on the Ryanair? Willie's got another one in there. I think it's a bit of a sleeper. I know he had a setback, but Grange Clare West, would you give him a chance in the Ryanair if he's pitched up?
If they run him fresh, yeah. I think to catch him fresh is when what he done at I don't know where it was Christmas time or it was Christmas time at Leopardstown was unbelievable.
He beat some good. Who did he
It's
beat
just
that
his
day? Didn't he?
wind, isn't it, or something? I don't know what happens to him. because he runs a massive race, then he goes missing. He gets a little setback,
Yeah.
little niggles. But if he turned up fresh without any runs, he would be a dark horse. What, 25s?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
What
outside
about
that, it's very open.
what about Con Hill then, Andrew? I want to just hear a random view of yours. I know what I think of him. Is he coming back to his best? Your Dave made a good point. A lot of people are saying if he's 80%, he's the best. And obviously, we know that's actually not the case, is it? If you look on
No, if
ratings,
he's 8%, he's not winning the champion hurdle.
sure.
That's bollocks. Like
It's a
that's
work.
like
Go
it
on, sorry.
doesn't work like that. Like he's after having one hell of a hard summer between being sick, colic, nearly dying, and everything else to go with it. We all saw what happened to Kempton. We saw him in Newbury. He's alive with four legs. That's grand. You can't believe anything that's said until he comes to the track. Until he turns up in Newcastle and he shows that he has his old spark, which we're probably not going to find out because who the hell's going to go there? I think if Willie had one ready, I wanted to go against him. It's the prime time for Willie to send one to the fighting fifth. But I can't have, what is he, 74?
Yep.
If you're
Yeah.
back in Con Hill at 74 for the champion hurdle, you want to have your head checked. Like genuinely have a head checked.
Who else goes?
Even if he does win it, they will take him on the day because there have been so many problems with him, so many issues. You have Nicky's form as well, and everything else to go with it. And it seems like that every trainer wants to send out, like for folks, Gordon Elliott saying he's going to send brighter days ahead. They know more about all this that's going on than we do. For
Yeah, sure,
Gordon to come
sure,
out and
sure.
say that now, there must be something going on with Con Hill. And even the same thing in Seven Bowers, there's Sergino is staying over hurdles as backup. So what does that tell you as well? Like if you read between the lines, not all is well with Con Hill.
And
And if you go back to his point to point days, he went regress, not regress as in ability, but his I was talking to Barry Geraghty when I was with Gavin. He was Gavin Lynch when he was doing a piece with him, and he was telling us what happened to Kyle Hill after his point to point. He became a shell of himself. He lost so much weight,
interesting,
and they couldn't get rid of him if they wanted to. And then
interesting,
obviously
interesting.
Michael Buckley took him, and he done what he done. So he's been showing this since his younger days that he is kind of fragile. And there's a lot of reasons to take him on. Look, if he
Okay,
It's
turns
like
up
that.
and if he is the same that he beat State Man, which I highly doubt he's ever going to be like that again, he will be the horse to beat. But so many reasons to take him on.
and one last spin question, sort of towards that. If he turns up or if he doesn't, who does Willie run in the champion hurdle? In your opinion? Obviously, we're a long way out still.
Well, obviously he's going to run State Man. Lassie will run if she passes the test. If she doesn't, obviously they go to Mare's hurdle with her. I'd love him to run Mystical Power.
I
I
agree.
I think this horse is so underrated, and he's just one of these horses that just keeps getting better and better at racing. There's nothing flash about him. He just gets the job done. That's all you want. He does not know home, stays for the track. Perfect horse.
Don't be silly.
Exactly, exactly, Jamie. It's the stairs, huh?
Do you
No,
really think so? Right then,
you
Tommy.
need to stay. You need to win to win the.
Step. I don't think the horse they're going about. I thought he's coming now, and I've been campaigning. Sorry, no, steal you. I've been campaigning for Vauban to be a stairs hurdler. I think it's a stairs hurdler, but I think Mystical Power. Look the way Mystical Power runs behind the bridle, behind the bridle, behind the bridle. Stairs hurdlers.
Not
That's just
necessarily.
me. I know not necessarily. You can't say behind the bridle. He's always going to be a stairs hurdler. I think he's a stairs hurdler.
If to me, behind the bridle over 2 mile trip means that if they go too quick, he's going to be one staying past them one,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not going to go not quick.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a champion hurdle.
But it's a simple question. Yeah. Last time was the champion hurdle.
If Lossiemouth
Oh,
turns up
behave, behave,
and
behave.
Mystical Power doesn't,
Yeah.
I'd have a tasty bet on Lossiemouth.
Yeah.
I think she's so underrated. She just travels through her races, picks up, jumps well, gets the job done. Bang, that's over, finished.
Yeah,
Can I make a quick
far away.
race planning point again? You have to look at Ballyburn. No decision's been made about him yet.
I love this. I love Willie Munnins bingo in November. Enter them
So
hurdle race. It's
the
driving
way
people mental.
the way I'm looking at it in my head, if I was campaigning his horses, interestingly, quite a few years ago, Rich Ritchie and Willie used to use that race at Ascot for Annie Power for Fahine, the Coral Hurdle. I think that's where you'll see Lossiemouth run. I don't think you'll see her in Ireland until
No.
after Christmas. I think Mystical Power goes to the Hatton's Grace, and I think he beats Tiapu, and then he's got a problem on his hands. I'm
Oh,
making that
that's
call.
interesting. That's
With
interesting to be fair. I
just throw
see the
back at
angle.
Scott with Ballyburn. Like we're in mid-November now, and there's still no concrete that we're going here. Is he schooling badly or something like
Yeah,
that?
No,
yeah.
I tell you what the problem is. I don't think he's I don't think he's been scoring that well over fences. I get that vibe. I don't think the Arkle is going to be up his street. They've seen him as the Turner's horse. So now this change in program, they're having second thoughts. And I think you're going to have a shock. And I think you're going to see Ballyburn turn up and take on State Man in the Morgiana.
Ooh,
I would love
Interesting.
that.
We'll come back to
strong
this in a minute
statement.
because I'm gonna ask Tommy the same questions when he's given his anti-post pick first. So Tommy, first of all, who are your anti-post fancies at the moment? Is there any on your radar at this point for Cheltenham?
Um, it's kind of well, like a lot of horses haven't come out yet because the gaps, everything's hard, right? So you can't really judge horses at the moment. But based on breeding that I've looked at, I just took a look at the bumper right today because Jamie said you're going to ask for Ante Post bets. That's what I was asking you before the show. That Quantum Boy, right? He's the
Yes.
half brother to Brave Man's Game,
Yes, that's right. 400 grand
and
purchase.
he won the point by 40 lengths. And JP snapped him up, right? And eight that came in behind him has, I think one or two of them have won already. And I've gone through the like the bumper form, like with classical Krieg. I liked him as well, right? I don't think he'd probably win the champion bumper. You go down through them all. I think Willie's got. I think JP's got the winner of the bumper this year, in Quantum Boy.
Yeah, yeah.
And going back to what the boys are talking about. Well, he has the most potential right now. That's going to come out. And then you look at the champion hurdle. I think Lassimo wins it
Do you
this year.
really like? Do you
I
not think
really
they
think.
just so if
I know it's early in the season. I think Ballyburn's going to go over fences without a doubt.
with
I
the
think we're all kind of surmising because Ballyburn, we're wondering is he going to jump. I don't think Mullins is probably pushing any of these horses at the moment because the ground is so hard. Right? So he's not going to be. We probably won't see many horses until the end of November. And if anything, we probably have a load of Mullins' novices and horses at Christmas time, 3 or 4, inside and all the novice hurdles and stuff.
sure.
I don't think he's going to get them all out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
they're
they're
going
just ones that are they're just ones that are not the obvious one. Like that Quantum Boy seems to have the top breeding, right?
fair
You know,
enough, fair enough.
like I know he's favorite right now. It's not something you'd be looking for a favorite bumper saying it's nuts, but the breeding is there, right? Half brother to
Sure.
Brave Man's Game, right? So I'd be nibbling on him. I think Lassie was definitely in there.
Do you
Like when you see the mares, like you say, you get 7 pounds, you're like, God,
so
good horse.
say in a world where Conhill's back to his best or what we've seen of him being his best, not only has obviously Lossie got to beat Stateman, but she's got to smack him by like 10 lengths effectively, haven't we, from what we've seen? Even if Conhill doesn't turn up, do you not think they'll just leave it then to Stateman and possibly Mystical Power and then run Lossie in the mares like? Because the
Yeah,
mares is
I
no
I think Mystical Power will go to the stairs. I think Lassimo will go to the champion hurdle. I think Ballyburn will go over jumps, and I think Lassimo would destroy Statement.
but
Even to last year's champ. Like Statement does not run well at Chop. Like
yeah,
he's got away with it
sure.
the last couple of years, but I think Lassimo, like any horse that's going to try and give Lassimo 7 pounds, the same with any car. Good luck to you. I don't think it's going to happen.
Because the only thing is
Everybody, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, 'cause the only thing I see it as if Conhill doesn't turn up, they could leave it to Stateman and whoever for the champion hurdle, and then they could try take on Brighter Days Ahead with a proper mare. Because if she goes to the mare's hurdle, suddenly it's not a gimme for Mullins anymore. So
But you think of it like
Yeah.
that, then you try tell Rich Ritchie, oh, we don't want to take on Con Hill and State Man. We want you to go to the Mayor's Hurdle with your champion hurdle horse. I'm sure Rich Ritchie's going to say, no, Willie, I'm going champion hurdle.
Yeah.
What if Conhill's in the champion hurdle though? Do you not think then Richie goes, oh, we've got a better chance of
But
winning the
why should everyone be afraid of Con Hill now?
No, they shouldn't. But like from what we've seen at that level, again, he might not be there. I'm just speaking hypothetically. He always says, "I want winners. I want winners. I want winners. I don't care where they run. I want winners." With because I think Lossie would absolutely batter Brighter
But
Days Ahead.
here's the good thing for Rich. If he goes and gets beat in the champion hurdle, he can go to win the Mayor's next year.
Sure.
there's so many positives with him. He gets seven pounds against Geldings, obviously in the champion hurdle, or he can go win the Mayor's next. Look, a lot will come to fruition when he runs Lossiemouth out against Stateman in Leopardstown. If Lossiemouth can go beat, if he does run there with her, that'll tell you a lot of her ability. And he's not afraid to do it. And will he want to find out so early in the season? Who knows? He probably will go to Ascot, as Scotty said. But I don't think there's any reason why horses should not take on Conhill now.
Yeah, sure.
There's an interesting thing that I think people forget is if Lossiemouth does go in the champion hurdle, he loves the mare's hurdle. What's he got for it? He's got a Grade 1 winner in Jade DeGruchy. I know she didn't win the mare's novice, but she's come out. She's won a Grade 1 since. She's beat Jatara at Fairy House, who's come out and won since. I think Jade DeGruchy is well capable of taking her place to be his #1 mare's hurdle horse. So I think that works in Lossiemouth's favour as well for running in the champion hurdle this year.
And I as well for the life of me can't see Mystical Power on the stairs either.
Yeah, I agree. 2 miler. You're 2 miler.
No. It's not even that. Look who owns it. Look who owns it.
Yeah. It's not
Dave
that
Manus does not want the stairs hurdle horse. He wants a crack at the champion hurdle.
it's not that prestigious as it used to be the stairs.
Would you were saying Jesky would have been a
Yeah,
two
but
mile?
like he bought. You have to go back now years ago. Go back years ago. He bought
I'm not as
Barracuda.
old as you, Nick.
I know that.
Yeah, but you're going to say Barracuda. Barracuda was already a 3 miler, like, he was already.
Oh, I understand that. Yeah, but like he likes stairs hurdle horses too. Like, what was that one that beat Any Power?
More of that.
More of that.
So he was a stair.
Yeah.
But
But
this
Mr.
You know, you know
like
what I
this.
mean, Henry.
Look at English Streetwear was campaigned as a champion hurdle horse. Should have won.
My favorite
Best of
horse
the
of all
Ninth
time.
Hurdle, and then gradually went up to 3 mile. I think Mystical Power 33 mile for stairs. Unbelievable price.
It's
Get
a question
on.
to take a chance on. But
Yeah.
if you have
Get on, like.
he's already a 2 mile Grade 1 novice hurdler.
Mm.
If it's not Willie Mullins is a creature of habit. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
That's what I will agree with you there. I will agree with you. If he was trained by somebody else, he probably would go with stairs.
Look, he can obviously go that route if he
Yeah.
ends up getting beat
Mm.
comprehensively. If
I
he
think
goes against these,
I kind of agree with Scotty. I think he'll go to the Hamptons Great and beat Teal.
It's
You have to look at the breeding.
Oh,
It's a
made my day.
confident statement, but Ante Power, she would have pissed
Sure.
the stairs hurdle if she was not pulling the absolute arms off that
Yeah.
day. She got beat by a good horse, but Mystical Power was bred to stay the trip. That's obviously in his favour. Just stating the obvious, but I don't think it's the worst shout. I think 33s is a very good bet. I mean,
Mul-
bet what price would it be non-run and no bet? Probably an 8 to 1 shot.
look,
Mullins-
you'll back worse 33 to 1 Ante Post shots that will run and get battered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
agreed.
it's one obviously to have in your book, as they say.
Mullins keeps
But
saying he likes
just
to
in
do
case.
things different as well, right? He likes to do things different and do things that haven't been achieved. He could try and win the champion hurdle, the champion chase, the stayers, the Ryanair, the Gold Cup, like so. He might throw a few darts that way this year.
So you think of it like just like he said, he's going to have Stateman, Lossiemouth for the champion hurdle. He's going to have El Fabiolo and Ergumin Gaelic Warrior for the champion chase. He's got Gallopin, Deschamps, Factor File for the Gold Cup. Stairs hurdle, he's got nothing. Mystical Power, there you go.
Vauban.
There you go.
Vauban's got no chance, Jamie. He's rubbish.
Oh, I
Come
know
on.
Vauban has no chance, but he in my head, but he's definitely
Why do you think he has no chance?
He just doesn't jump well
he
enough.
gets soft.
Doesn't jump, and he's very soft in the finish.
He's
He's
not
very
effective.
soft. Watch the way he ran in the York race, the Lansdale Cup. Buick had to nearly coax him and bury him on the line. You can't do it.
He's not going to be effective over 3 miles,
Can't
man.
you?
He probably won the worst
Could we
triumph
do
hurdle
it
of all
with
time as
Shane
well. The
Hill?
likes of Phil Dore and the other horse.
Smith Canyon, yeah, same
I
goal.
said,
Didn't he do it that?
Asked Tommy there. He goes to me. I tell you now, know what I mean, Harry Levin. I said Nicholas Kenyon on good ground is a big certainty.
Oh, I love those Graham
I
Wiley.
don't. All of them
Oh,
aren't. 99% of Triumph Hurdle horses stairs.
They are.
Jamie, you know I had Nicholas Canyon back, man. What are you on? But I'll
No,
tell you what, I'll tell you a good one.
go on, tell
When
us.
you were
Tom.
asking me, like when you asked me earlier there, like for a horse for Cheltenham out of the blue, right? I would have picked Balgran for the county hurdle, but I think Dan Skelton would do it. Huh?
Yeah, interesting.
Imagine
Yeah,
Dan Skelton making balls of a handicap mark.
I know, yeah. So he's probably going to run him 3 more times now to get it down to about 130.
Stone ass
He
off.
probably will. He probably will. Even though I think he'll win something this weekend, though. But anyway.
right, everyone, we're going off on a tangent. Last question to everyone. I want one horse, your favorite horse in training or past, whatever. Andrew, favorite horse of all time?
Of all time.
All time. Let's do
If he
it.
wins the third Gold Cup, Gallopin Deschamps.
Jamie, favorite horse of all time?
Oh, Moscow Flower, hands down.
No, wait, sorry. I had to retract that. Honeysuckle. I can't.
Honeysuckle.
Honeysuckle.
I love that. I love that. Scotty,
I'm 50-50 with Corvega and Samcro.
Tommy.
I'd have to say any power man.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
For me, it's Moscow
brilliant.
Flower, English Drever. Love the pair of them. Right, we're going off on rants as we do tend to. We'll actually be back for a few rants next week as well. But first of all, look, thanks everyone for tuning in. Just a reminder, please do like and subscribe. Free to do, supports the channel, really helps us out. And of course, just shows a bit of support to my lads that are always here week in, week out. Andrew, everyone knows where they can find you, don't they? But just tell them again.
Um, See? Catchy, isn't it? That was my fucking head in what I was thinking.
He's the boss.
He's the boss man of the finish.
Try find something that's not copyrighted, like.
It's the new Dun Stores ad.
It is. I know. It's like I know that tune.
But Andrew, what days do you go live on YouTube? Every Wednesday, is it?
Every Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, you can
And
tune
we're
into
starting.
the
There's a new
finish line.
watch-along show that you will be involved at some stage as well.
Yes.
That is starting myself,
Betfair Chase with Jack.
myself, Liam, and Jack.
Yeah.
Betfair Chase on the 20th. You know more than me.
Because we've had Liam on last week and he's going to be the tipster, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
tipster.
awesome.
We're not going to embarrass him in the parade ring on Friday at all.
Yeah, exactly. Tommy, thanks so much for coming on. Look, the Bear, we've been trying to get you on for a while. Great to have you here. Met Tommy in person, wicked person, really enjoyed it. Tommy, we're going to get you on again this season. I'm already telling you, we've got to have you on again.
Thanks for the invite.
No,
Thanks for the invite.
Much
Thanks.
appreciated.
And don't forget, thanks for the help in the first race.
There you go. There you go. James.
Biggest question, Tommy, is he coming down to us on Saturday for the November meeting and having a few drinks with us? Now, that's the question for him.
I asked him about Friday because I'm not around Saturday evening, Jimmy.
So we go Friday, so?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. It means I can get back for the Saturday racing.
Yeah.
Jamie, Scotty, boys, thanks very much. As usual, always appreciate it. Thanks everyone tuning in. Thanks Halligan for jumping in and just throwing me off course. We have a load of back and forth. You will enjoy watching me and Andrew have a back and forth. Tommy, thanks a lot. Everyone, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
Don't forget, you can find us all over on betting.co.uk with loads of content, stable tours, and much more. And we'll see you all real soon.